Hello. Thank you for being here. So, today our topic is about an experience of a Kenyan family. This person goes on saying that I'm 31 years and I'm married with 3 kids. And on addition to that, his spouse, she's expecting. So, he goes on saying, I'm the principal applicant. My case number was DV 2023 AF 2000, and it was my first time in the diversity visa lottery. We both applied in 2021 October 12 as married. My first notification, I received it May 10th, 2022. Yes, that was my happiest day of my life in 2022. Having been selected into the diversity visa lottery, it was an achievement for me. I applied, I went on to submit my DS260 on 15th May 2022. Yes, we already had a host and our passports, so everything was smooth since all documents were available. After filling out the DS260, we printed it out and we made sure we go through every page avoiding mistakes. So we went through every page and we checked it thoroughly that we had not made any mistakes. So after that, we submitted. We did that to avoid unlocking it in a later time. So after a few months, in the month of October 13th, 2022, we received 2NL. Wow. It was a Thursday and it was one of our happiest day ever in my family. So we went on, registered for medicals as instructed in the email, and we registered for DHL and registered our interview as instructed in the email. At IOM, we went there and it was a success. That was 23rd of November 2022. At the IOM, we had a few inconveniences. My x-ray and for my sons were repeated, but for my wife, she had a bad cold which was presumed to be COVID, but unfortunately not. After my successful medicals, there brings us to the time of interview, December 7th, 2022, on Wednesday, time 6:30 a.m. So we arrived at the embassy 5 o'clock a.m. We remained in the car until the embassy gates were open. At 6 a.m., the guards instructed us to stand orderly in a line as per interview time. There we already many people, mostly families. Most were not Kenyans initially. We saw Somalis, Ugandans, Eritreans, and those from Congo, with other 4 Kenyans families. At the first security, we were asked for passports, 2NL, and appointment later. Then we proceeded to the second security, where we were required to remove all metallic clothing and other stuff like mobile phones, computers, laptops. Then after, we went to the compound of the embassy, where we found the third security, which had the small counter. It was still outside the main building of the embassy. So at this third security checkpoint, here they showed us where to sit. Yes, in the waiting area to wait for the interviews. Here we had butterflies flying in our stomachs. So we met a lady there. She came and gave us a paper instructing us on how to arrange our documents. There we received tokens, and later our token was called. We went inside. We made 3 counters. First it was document counter, where we presented our documents and later asked to pay $330 each head. Afterwards, we were asked to go wait from outside to wait for the main interviews. So the interview. At the interview, first of all, we found a mzungu. A mzungu means a white person. So at the interview, consular asked, "Good morning, David," with a silent smile. David: "Good morning, sir." Consular: "Congratulations on getting selected to the DV 2023. David: "Thank you, sir." Consular: "Can you both raise your hands and swear that all you're saying is nothing but the truth?" And my wife did. So afterwards, consular asked, "Are you married?" "Yes, sir." He looked at our marriage certificate. Consular asked, "Any children?" "Yes, sir." My wife points at them and he says, "All right." Consular: "What do you do for a living?" David: "I'm a medical doctor, sir." Consular said, "Wow. May I see any proof of that?" David: "Yes, please." I gave him my medical license and job contract of the hospital where I work and my certificate. One at a time, he looked as he said, "Anything else?" Consular: "Which medical school did you attend?" David: I answered. Consular: "Any transcript or proof of that?" I gave him my medical school admission letter, transcripts, and school attendance. So he says, I had carried including photos of me in the lab back in medical school plus graduation photos, but he did not ask about those. Consular: "He asked me a few medical school questions learned in the first year. Any doctor here knows the basics of the medical school." Me, surprised but answered correctly. Consular: "I like your grades in medical school. What made you think of becoming a doctor?" Me, I answered. Consular: he read my license again properly, but still goes ahead to ask what kind of medicine I practice. Me, I answered. Consular asked about my career, then says, "Congratulations on your successful career." Me, "Thank you, sir." Consular: "Talking to my wife now, what do you do?" My wife answered. "How long have you been married?" My wife answered. Why did you marry him, and where did you meet? Both of us were surprised, but my wife answered, where did you go for your first date? A little bit shocked with that question, but my wife answered, and Consola asked, when was your marriage and what type was it? My wife answered, and she showed him church weddings photos. Consola, when did you realize that he is the one to marry? She answered, Consola, tell me all his siblings' names. He gave her a pen and asked her to write them down. She does exactly that. Consola asked me the same question about her siblings. Me answered, Consola, David, do you have anything else aside from pictures and marriage certificate that proves you are legally married? David, yes sir, I showed him our joint bank account and documents of business I opened for her and a vehicle. Consola, can I get more proof? I showed him pictures of events when we attended together with family and a print out of all texts and calls history. NB, he read every single message and looked at all the pictures carefully and would even go back and relook to get to be convinced. David, when exactly were your kids born and where? Me, I answered. Consola, who is your host and where are you going to stay in the US? David answered. Consola, what does he do to earn a living and when did he go to US? Me, I answered. Consola, what will you do in the US? David answered. Consola, why did you choose that state and what's unique to you about it? Me, I was shocked. So David was shocked but answered, Consola, I can see your wife is yet to put to bed and almost due as per the report. When will she be to bed? So this question was about my wife is about to give birth and she sees my wife is almost giving birth. Consola then went on congratulating us and he said, congratulations, welcome to America and congratulations once again for passing the interview. I quote what he said here. I needed to clear a few things here and I have seen that you are genuine. Me, thank you sir, but may I ask, what about my unborn baby? Consola said, don't worry about your unborn baby. I am aware that she's almost due and cannot travel in the state until the child is born. So once the child is born, you come back with him with his passport and birth certificate, 2 passport copies, 2 now, and both you and your wife birth certificate and passport, and I will approve his visa since the details are already in the database. My wife and I were excited. We were so happy to the point that I could see my baby kicking in the womb. I personally did not hear anything properly. After he said congratulations, I just saw him handing me a green paper. He told us how to pay for the green card and advised us to pay it back in Kenya so that when we arrive, as soon as we arrive in the US, we get the green cards. He told us that our visas will be ready in 3 to 5 days and our passports will be corrected through DHL. which we were supposed to have registered. He handed back all our original documents and the copies and an envelope which we were instructed not to open until we arrive at the port of entry in the US and hand it over to the authorities. We were so loaded with proof in every sense, from academic document, pictures, birth notification, bank statement, WhatsApp messages, call history, etc. Some he did not even ask, but better to be prepared than sorry. We had a whole album and 3 files. So guys, that was our experience. Thanks for listening. This experience, the principal applicant was David, according to the interviews. According to their interview, I have seen David's name included. And guys, it's Aaron Intende. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for coming to my channel for where you will always find the knowledge you need for your interview, Dvlottery, and about how to start life in America, relationship advices, and developmental messages. Guys, thanks for being here, and subscribe for more information. Thank you so much. Have a good day.